All right, guys, what's up? So I'm driving, and I just want to talk about cardio. So I had a couple questions about cardio. Should I be doing cardio? I want to lose weight. Should I be doing cardio? Should I be doing HIIT, steady state, etc.? So the real question is, well, number one, what is your goal? And if your goal is to lose weight, as in lose fat, not necessarily cardio that needs to be done. So if you're looking at, for example, a lot of the big, heavy powerlifters, those guys, their goal is power and strength, and they don't do any cardio at all. They do all their strength work. They have technique day, accessory days, whatever. So most of us, I think, especially a lot of women, and this is a very general statement, are not trying to bulk up per se, or put on a ton of muscle. You're looking to put on some muscle, and I would like to say that if you do resistance training, you increase your chance of you bump up your metabolism, you will increase your lean muscle mass. Lean muscle mass burns faster, burns more. It's a better source. And so should I be doing cardio? What's the best form of cardio? Is a bike bad cardio? I've heard of bike is bad cardio. There's two kinds of bikes. Number one, the recumbent bike where you just sit back and you just pedal your little feet, and that's like usually what you see like the old guy in the back doing, or like a pregnant person. But it's also not really a bad cardio. Like the reason why you see someone who's pregnant or old doing the recumbent bike or the elliptical is because it's easy on the joints. So you have to also ask yourself, like, am I training for a sport or functional movement? If you're training for a sport and functional movement, there is no scenario where you'd be sitting back leaning on a nice comfy bike, or on something that cycles your legs. When you run, you don't cycle your legs one above the other, one pushing, it's not the same. So if you're training for sport, I think that the elliptical is not the best choice for you if you're trying to improve your aerobic capacity or you're trying to improve your running. I don't know if that was your question. But, and what Lena asked was, hey, is the bike bad cardio? No, the bike's not bad cardio. The bike is great cardio, whether you're doing a recumbent bike or spin bike or whatever. If you're trying to lose fat, the only way to lose fat is to be in a calorie deficit. So that can be done by eating less, one, but not too less. See my previous video for that. If you're eating under 1,200 calories, you're starving your body. You need to eat more than that. And there's no specific diet that's a perfect way to lose fat as long as it's something you can maintain. So people that are on like a keto diet usually can't be maintained, or Whole30, or like a carnivore diet, which is terrible for you anyways. But that kind of stuff, making sure you're getting in a really good balance of vegetables and fruits and grains and all that good stuff. Anyways, so I want to be in a calorie deficit. What do? I need to burn more calories than I'm eating. So if the bike for you is the way for you to burn the calories, then you go for it, girl. Like, hell yes. The bike is a great form of cardio. If you're going to like a burn boot camp class where I work, or an Orange Theory or some sort of HIIT style class, then you are tapping into your anaerobic stores, which is, without air, anaerobic. And we have two different kinds of storages for that. So you got ATP and then lactic acid. So typically ATP is, well, most definitely ATP is a very finite source of energy, which is what a lot of people look to replenish in post-workout. But ATP is typically used for like 10 seconds. We're talking about sprints. We're talking about, like a throw. We're talking about 10 seconds or less. And then you're looking at the other anaerobic, which is typical HIIT style stuff, high intensity. If you're doing burpees on an EMOM format, or some sort of like CrossFit Metcon, or even you're on the bike and you're doing a 10-second sprint, or you're doing a 30-second speed round, like whatever it is you're doing, that's anaerobic capacity. So if you're looking to burn more calories, then the bike is a great source. You have to ask yourself your why and your what. Like, what is my purpose? What is my goal? Why am I doing this? If your goal is to lose weight and you're not training for an athletic event or sport, then a recumbent bike, a spin bike, an elliptical, a treadmill, a Versa climber, a rower, a ski erg, a whatever the hell, running outside, walking outside, any way to burn calories. Now, there is a debate about whether or not HIIT or LISS, low intensity steady state, or high intensity interval training, burns more calories or is better for you, or better for fat burning. The ideal fat burning heart rate zone is 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. So for 95% of people, that would be low intensity steady state cardio, like going for a walk, like spinning or rowing at a moderate pace. So that's not your all out burst, the anaerobic, you're working aerobically. That is the ideal fat burning zone. That would tap into those fat storages. But there is some controversy about that. And also there's a whole idea, and you know what I preach and teach at my gym in our HIIT style environment, is that it's very over exaggerated how much fat or how many calories, like the afterburn. Everyone's all about the HIIT because they're like, I'm burning calories 24 hours to 72 hours after. If you look at the studies, like the real studies, not what like the gyms are telling you, but like a scientific study, if you're looking at a HIIT workout, it's not burning 72 calories after. Like the drop, like the calorie burn during the workout's high, right? And then it's steadily dropping. So within an hour after the workout, you have burned maybe an extra 20 to 30 calories post workout, maybe 40 depending on how high your heart rate is for it to drop. And then 24 hours later, the increase versus a day where you don't do HIIT is like 8 calories. So like every calorie counts, but HIIT shouldn't be done every day. I really think the perfect plan and perfect program, and that's another question that was asked, what's the perfect plan? Well, again, what are your goals? Are you looking to put on muscle? Are you looking to recomposition your body, which in the case would be burning muscle and losing fat at the same time? In that case, yeah, you should be doing strength training and cardio. Should somebody be doing strictly only strength or strictly only cardio? No, I don't think so, especially if you're looking to be an athlete and be mobile for your whole life. If you're running every single day outside, ask any runner about their joints and their knees. Most people have improper striding. Most people have interrotation in the hip or some issue, and they have back problems and knee problems and hip problems and foot problems and toe problems and heel problems from running every single day. And the same goes for strength. Ask the Olympic powerlifters, ask the Olympic lifters who are doing all the Olympic lifts about all of their injuries. The average lifter, power lifter, and Olympic lifter has between 2 and 5 injuries per year. 2 and 5. So most people who train even at burn suffer at least 1 to 2 minor injuries and maybe a major injury in some point in the year from 1, overtraining, or 2, injuring themselves by doing something you weren't ready for. You're doing a super high box jump, or you are working out, doing 2 HIIT workouts a day. You're overworking your knee, so you have an overuse. Maybe you tear your ACL, maybe you sprain your ankle, maybe you break your wrist, maybe you hurt your wrist, maybe you have developed tendonitis or tennis elbow or golfer's elbow or something like that. So my whole point is there a perfect plan? In my mind, I have developed the perfect plan for myself and what works for me, and I am very fluid about it. I'm very flexible. Like I would do 2 workouts a day, but sometimes that second workout, what I thought was going to be a high intensity interval cardio after my heavy strength, at night it turns into a yoga session. So you have to be flexible with yourself in certain aspects. So is there a perfect plan? I don't know. Ideally, you are doing strength training for your whole body and cardio, and you're doing HIIT and lifts. So what's really great about that low intensity steady state is that can turn into anything that you desire, where your heart rate's under 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. So for me, that's yoga, or that's a low impact floor Pilates class where I do like a leg focus or an adductor focus legs. That's a yoga cool down with mindful meditation at the end. That's a walk on the treadmill. That's going for a walk outside. That is getting that extra activity, and it's like kind of peaceful, and it's usually really necessary in there. So my perfect plan, if I were to really say for your average person who's looking to build muscle and lose fat and feel good about their bodies overall, training for a healthier life and lifestyle, would be to have at least 3 days of resistance training a week, probably 4, especially if you're more experienced, and 2 days of cardio, maybe 3, and 2 of them being HIIT, and 1 of them being low intensity steady state, and whenever you feel like you need more of a break, 2 low intensity, 1 high intensity. You need to ask any Olympic lifter, any bodybuilder, any power lifter, any professional athlete, does their training split stay the exact same? And anyone that's any good and anyone that wants to take care of their bodies will tell you no. They go through a training cycle of 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe you do 3 full body days and 3 cardio days a week. Maybe you do upper lower splits, so you do upper lower, and then cardio in between, or cardio after if you want to do 2 workouts in a day. Maybe you do push-pull legs, another great split. You have to consider what your goals are, and why you're training and how much time you have, and also your nutrition. So that was a really long answer for is the bike a bad form of cardio? No. We want to train aerobically and anaerobically. You want to have a really good just good abilities overall in cardio. You want to take care of your heart health and burn calories, but please remember that burning calories shouldn't be the only sole focus when it comes to weight loss. Resistance training and strength training is very important. And I think that was the only question about cardio. Yeah, another one was how to run more or how to build up your endurance, and that's literally just to take your time and build up more endurance. So if you ask marathon runners how they build up to their marathons, they don't do 1 mile on Monday and then Tuesday they're like, whoa, we're hitting 26.2. No, like they work in either a pyramid format. People have different training routines. Make sure you're training your legs, make sure you're training your ankles, make sure you are rolling out your feet, getting a lacrosse ball on your feet, hitting those calves, stretching your calves, couch stretch. I cannot recommend mobility for the lower body and the hips enough for runners. Don't over ice. What else I got for you? Don't over ice and heat. I think that if you look at football players, they should be walking it off. When you tumble, you should be walking it off. Inflammation is the body's way of healing. So whenever you ice it, you are only creating more inflammation and more issues. Let that shit heal. So if I'm trying to run more or run faster, then that's when you're training anaerobically and aerobically. So you're working on sprints. Maybe you go for a mile walk, and every 0.25 you run for 0.1 or 0.05. Maybe you do a split where you have running on Monday, Tuesday, break, Thursday, Friday, break, Saturday, break. So Monday, Tuesday, you do like a mile and then a mile and a half, and then 2 miles and then 2.5. And then you go back down 2 miles, 1.5. And then eventually you're starting, like in 3 weeks, you're starting at 2 miles, 2.5, 3.5, and you're building your way up. But absolutely talking to a running coach, someone who's very specific in running, is important. Just like talking to someone who's a lifting coach, like that's my specialty, that's my biggest care. In women's fitness, like that's my thing. So am I a running coach? No. Do I know enough about running to help people? Sure. But talking to a running coach, getting proper running shoes, and working out barefoot when possible is an awesome idea. I think that working out barefoot makes your feet stronger, so you're not relying on orthotics, and strengthening your ankles is super important. If you're a runner, knee strength, knee extension, hip hip flexion, watching where you're landing. Are you a heel lander? Are you a toe lander? Where do you take off from? You have to be aware of those things, and you should film yourself running. Get a camera set up somewhere when you run, or even next to you on the treadmill, and watch how you land and listen to your impact. You shouldn't hear when you're running. That was dramatic, but you shouldn't hear yourself slamming every step you take. Whew, that was a lot in 12 minutes. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Listen to this like twice through, because there was a lot of stuff that I was throwing at you. And if you need more details, you want to see some articles, you want to watch some videos, I have a ton of resources, so let me know.